Hello, welcome to War with a Mate with me, James.
Me, Andy.
The only podcast out there that is covering a playthrough of the campaign for North Africa that we're aware of.
It's important to add that last clause.
We don't know everything, alright? We are two humans. We are limited by our own first-hand experience. We never look at the internet. We never go outside, which actually limits the first-hand experience, if anything.
No, just sort of a thing that exists in a room.
We are bound here. We're devoid of time. Time doesn't pass for us.
I mean, I wish that was... I wish we could knock this out in a time bubble.
I don't. That would be horrible.
The episodes up.
Imagine the psychological damage that you'd come away with if we were trapped in a time bubble playing the campaign for North Africa, and then we came out in, 50 years?
Well, we'd be playing constantly in the time bubble.
That's worse. That's so much worse.
We'd be done much faster.
We'd be done much faster, but I'd hate it more. If you sat me down and said, we're going to play this game non-stop, we'd still have to sleep, presumably, in the time bubble. Our bodies surely would function the same.
No, it's all on pause.
So what about thought? Surely that also means that the synapses in the brain are also on pause.
They are, but the spirit isn't.
So the spirit is going to play the game.
Yeah. That's how time bubbles work.
It's powered by the spirit.
Like, you're not even a physicist.
I'm not. What I am, Andy, is potentially the winner of the game.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Let's get it, because there's a lot to unpack today. There's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, so turn 3, upstage 3.
Began with a bang.
Did the org phase, moved some stuff around. You started some construction.
I did. I started building a minefield around the wall that I've built up at the top,
which is frankly not on.
I was looking at construction today, and I was thinking, what can I build? What would be a good thing to build? And I started to look at what minefields actually do. So I thought,
blow up innocents decades later, you monster.
Well, in our world, there's no later.
It's a real time one this week.
It is. This is the time. The time is now. The time is here. The time is not going to be an issue. When it comes to the minefields that I'm building, it's not only the case that they blow stuff up when they pass over, but the most important thing is the CPA cost. Because if a motorized unit wants to move into a minefield, then it takes all of their movement, all of their CPA to do so. So say a truck has 30 CPA. It can use up to 30 capability points. In order for it to move into the minefield, it has to expend 30 capability points. Now that is on top of whatever it's been doing that movement. So that's not you've used up the remainder of your CPA. You have to use the quantity of your CPA. So that means you can overextend a unit massively by forcing it to go into a minefield.
Is that built in a upstage, or what's the time scale on it?
Upstage to build a minefield.
Oh, so it's done, or it'll be done next turn.
Next construction phase, it will be finished.
Right, yeah. Where are you building that again?
I'm building it on the track that comes just south from the North Road block. You know where the road doesn't connect?
Yes.
It's just south of there, along the track.
Yes, I know what you mean.
So that way, if you do manage to push past my wall, which is your plan, then it means moving further south will become a big problem. Because then you're going to have to, if you have motorized units, wander them through this minefield.
Yeah.
So that's what I started to build, as well as rebuilding one of my airfields. So you destroyed an airfield a little while ago on map B, up near Barcy, I believe it is.
Navy boys showed up and bombed it off the face of the earth.
Yeah, your bloody ship's shown up. They did some real damage, took out an airfield full of bombers that were going to be part of my now aborted plan to airdrop troops. They are can't remember the name of the plane, but they are the ones who can airdrop supplies.
Yeah.
They are pretty good in that regard. However, you took out the airfield that had most of them in. So I'm going to rebuild that. So then my SGSUs that are there are no longer sat with their appendages in their hands doing nothing. They will actually be able to get the planes up off the ground into the air, and do some damage.
Yeah, where they work.
So that was my organization phase. You didn't do anything organization-wise, did you?
I attached a couple of guys, cleaned up the mess at the front.
Yes, you rejigged your wall.
Yeah.
And from there, it was straight to the air missions. And the air missions, we did 2 each. 2 apiece.
No air combat this time. It's been a while.
Yeah, the air missions went off without a hitch. So, would you like to go into the detail about your air plans first?
Sure. One of them, I just did a close air combat air patrol over my big block of guys to sort of screen them from any bombers or anything. They didn't have to do anything. And then my other one, I sent my bombers and a couple of fighters who can strafe over your front lines to map B and attacked the convoy you had up there on the coast and got 4 of however many trucks. So, yeah, managed to destroy 4 of them.
Yeah, a decent amount of those trucks. I did like those trucks. They are important because they facilitate my air force at the moment. All of those missions that I carried out today are fueled supplied by these trucks. I'm having to swap out the bombers that I use because some of them I'm keeping on reserve, getting them ready one turn, one up stage, and then dropping them the next. So I'm working at a limited capacity, and I'm having to alternate that limited capacity anyway. And now you've taken off a not insignificant amount of trucks from that group. So that was painful. That's going to limit my air force. I retaliated in kind. Your 2 truck bandits that you've got wandering around, the Hussars and Fusiliers, I decided a way to deal with them, instead of chasing them around on foot, why not just strafe them? And I had bombers capable of strafing. The BA-65s, I believe they are. So I dropped 36 TAC air points on them, which is a good strafe, and took off 1 tow point. Of what I thought was 1 tow point.
1 or 2.
One
so
of 2.
Down or 1.
So it was the Fusiliers that I hit. They are down to 1 tow point, which I thought, hey, maybe that'll limit what they can do. However, it turned out to be wrong, which we'll get to. Aside from that, I also did another bombing run. A bombing run on, would you believe it, road.
Yeah,
I'm really always going for the road.
Hammering that road.
That road is a problem because it's where your supply line is. So I thought, if I can obliterate that, then I'm good. So that's what I did. Took off another piece of road, which is positioned on a upslope, downslope. So it means if you want to move your trucks over there, it's going to be costly.
Yeah, it's going to add to it.
It's going to add 4 CPA going uphill. It's going to add 2 CPA going downhill.
Yeah.
And a flat 2 breakdown.
Hills are on the border of the hexes, so you also have the hex itself that you pay the cost for.
Yes, which is a clear, thankfully.
Yes.
So it's just 4 breakdown points. But you're looking at potentially... it's 6 breakdown points that have been added, as well as CPA. So you're looking at 4 or 6 CPA added to your journey. So it's costly for you. I'm starting to chip away at this road.
Yeah.
And from there, it was straight onto land movement.
There's a biggie.
Because all the admin bits, we're all good for resources. We'll be doing that in between. That shaves off a bit of time now that we can do those bits behind the scenes. It means that we don't have to sit here and work through spreadsheets, which was really the bane of our lives at the start of all this. Now those spreadsheet days have become homework.
Quicker.
Yeah, they're homework.
Homework.
They're formulaic, they're easy, and they meant we could get straight into land movement, which is beautiful. And you have initiative. You chose to go first. And what did you do with that, Andy?
Quite a bit.
Yeah, to say the fucking least.
Got my guys on my section of the wall. Bit more attaching. And then the 4th Indian Division and the 7th Armoured Division went chasing you guys. So they're currently flanking one of your divisions. We haven't done that combat yet. We'll do that next time. But they're ready to fight. And then we've moved a couple of guys around behind my lines, moved the sort of contingency positions.
Yes.
And then sort of a big one was I used the Northumberland Fusiliers and their 1 tow point and the 11th Hussars, and I've taken Bardia.
Yeah, now that I wasn't pleased about. See, I moved my guys out of Bardia to chase those exact people. And what you've done is the old switcheroo, where I've chased you, you've then skedaddled out of there, and you're now in Bardia.
Yep.
There are now 200 men that have occupied Bardia.
I think the Hussars have 5 or 6 tow point left.
Oh, wow. So, okay, so it's about 600.
Yeah.
However...
Although they are armoured cars, so less than 600.
And what I am going to do in retaliation, which, of course, is march that that division back. So they're going to show up, knock at the door, ask for Bardia back, politely, and if you decline, they will use force. Now, since there's no game rules to politely accept that situation, it's going to be with force.
That's fine.
You can voluntarily surrender.
Not going to do that.
Okay, so I'm going to have to obliterate them.
Yes.
Now, all of this is good and well. My movement is next. However, we stumbled across a revelation today. Everything that we've just discussed may not matter. Everything that we've been doing for the last turn may not matter.
Because we checked in on the win conditions again.
Yeah, we've looked at the victory conditions today, and it actually spells out a pretty scary fact. The fact is, this scenario is on a knife edge, and the next time we play, there very well could be a victory declared. So this is news to us. This came as a shock, and may come as a shock to anyone listening, because we didn't think we were anywhere near a victory. Probably because we're not checking the victory conditions very frequently.
No, they felt miles away. Like,
It felt
just
so
felt
abstract.
like something that's not going to be relevant for a long time. But turns out I could have won today.
You could have won today, because one of the win conditions we found, a victory can be won by the Commonwealth if the Axis forces cannot trace a supply line to any unit on the map. With you taking Bardia, it means that the 2 convoys that were in there are now gone, and there's only one other convoy that's alive and well, and that is the one that supplies my airlines. So if that supply line was to be cut, if you were to take out the remaining trucks there, of which there are still some, then I can't supply anyone with a supply line. I have no other convoys anywhere.
Yeah, and I could have sent the Royal Fusiliers into Bardia and basically burned all of the 11th Hussars' resources in terms of CPA and cohesion, but got that truck and captured it, which would have won me the scenario. But
Which was a scary realization for me, knowing that if those trucks were destroyed somehow, then that's it. The scenario is won by you. That's how close we were to this going that badly. We haven't escaped that. We haven't escaped the end of a scenario, because we also looked at the Axis win conditions, and they are a little bit more involved in the sense it involves holding things. However, I happen to be doing that.
Yes, because last turn when I did I never sent anyone to Siwa, which has been a recurring mistake from turn 1.
Yes, Siwa was originally the home of the Saharan detachment. That's where they were. They popped there immediately. From, I think it was up stage 2, I zipped them over the border, and they went straight into Siwa.
Yeah, because I just didn't have anyone down on the bottom of the map.
And I thought, it's a nice oasis, I'll pop them down there for a while, and then eventually, plans transpired, I moved them further up. They met their fate a couple of plays ago, and there's still a couple straggler battalions there that are on map D. But I left it undefended. I did, however, have it, and it was there for the taking. You could have moved units there, but you didn't think to, because neither of us really thought it mattered yet. Because we thought, well, the win conditions are so involved that
I just
figured
we'd look at them at the end.
It didn't feel like we'd get there.
Completely dropped them out of my mind, which is a bad thing to drop out of your head, is the win conditions of the game you're playing.
Yeah, well, we thought the campaign for North Africa is a long game. It's going to be a complex game. It's not going to be one that we're going to figure out very quickly. So how on earth would we win quickly? Lo and behold, the Axis win conditions for the tactical victory involve holding Gyarabub, which is down towards the south. It's just northwest a little of Siwa. It's on the Libya side. And that has been left untouched. I've still got my garrison there. And then to the north of that is Fort Madalena, of which everyone has heard about. The conflict that happened there was most of turn 1 and 2. It was the big focal point of those first 2 turns. So holding both of those, as well as Solemn, which is further north, that's a little south of Bardia, those 3 positions, as well as Sidi Barani.
Yes, which is the one that I held at the start. This is where I did my fuck up, because I had the 4th Indian on them for
a while.
Ages, and then I pulled back to try and draw your guys at like the limit of their supply lines.
And it worked. They are at the limit of their supply lines, a supply line that you are continuing to destroy.
Yeah.
So you managed to pull me a little further over the border, stretch my resources, but I now have one of my units that I think it's the 1st Libyan are in Sidi Barani.
Yeah.
And City Barani is the final part of the tactical victory win condition. So I need to take and occupy City Barani, which at the moment I am doing. I have Garabub, I have Fort Madalena, I have Solemn. All I need to do now to win this scenario is have a supply line that can be traced from Tobruk to each of these locations. At the moment, I can't do that. However, the ace up my sleeve, which has been coming since the game started, all the way from Tripoli, it's the other black shirts, the second and third black shirts. So they are making their way downtown in a quite rapid pace because they're all motorized. They're zipping along the north of Map B.
As well, isn't it?
It's all road. They're going to get to Tobruk
next turn.
This op stage.
Yeah.
So in my movement, which is going to be next time we play, I can get them to Tobruk. Once they're in Tobruk, I can then break off these trucks.
Yep.
And that means once those trucks are broken off, I can then have a supply line that runs from Tobruk to all of those locations just mentioned, at which point I've met the victory conditions and the win is mine, and I win the Kinder Bueno. As everyone may remember, the stakes of the full campaign for North Africa are a sit-down meal. The stakes of Graziani's offensive is a Kinder Bueno. That Kinder Bueno, Andy, could well be mine the next time we play.
Yeah, I think it will be. If I can get through your divisions up and take it City Barani back, that's basically the only way I can prevent this now.
Those men that you've moved over to the border of my wall around City Barani is the only way that you can change this.
Yeah. Because they'll get to Tobruk at the end of the turn.
Yes.
Then you'll have to detach them.
Yes, which will
and then
cost some CPA.
Next op stage, you'll be able to... So it'll be next op stage, but you'll do all the work to finish it this op stage.
I can detach them, and then...
I'm just thinking, will they have any CPA left?
You got a good point, yes. So I won't be able to win this op stage. I will have to bleed it through to next op stage. Yeah. But all I need to do is make sure that you don't take out all of those trucks, which is realistically not something you can do with an air force which has already suffered heavy losses on your side. Yeah. I don't think you've got the strafe in you to take out... I mean, I've already talked to you about it before, north of 60 trucks.
Yeah, because I took out 4 and went pretty heavy on them.
Yes.
So
the most you can strafe is 3.
And the most you can get with bombs is 7.
I think it might be 6.
Yeah.
Either way,
it's not a lot.
Yes. With multiple bombing runs, with massive amounts of bombs, incredible strafes, rolling very well, you can't take out 60 trucks. And all I need to do is supply them. I need to have supply lines that work. The supply lines can be flimsy, but they just need to be supply lines.
So if you win initiative next turn, you probably won.
If I win initiative, I would imagine so, depending on how I maneuver my troops. It does come down to that fight at City Barani.
Yeah, because I should win initiative, because I think I've got +3 at the minute, and you've got +1.
Yes.
So most initiatives I should win.
The odds are definitely in your favour to win the initiative.
Yeah.
It's more a case of how you use the resources that you've got.
Yeah.
Because my air units are pretty much crippled at this point. I'm not going to be able to put up much air resistance. I will have the airfield back that I'm rebuilding, and there's a bunch of planes there that are ready to go. They just haven't been able to. So they're going to be back in play. I can do something with them maybe, but is that going to change? Am I going to be able to hold City Barani is the question.
Yeah.
Because if I can, all I need to do is move around my trucks. If I didn't ruin my supply lines from go, I would be able to win the game now decisively. I would have already won probably. Yeah. But now that I need to rejig my supply lines to fudge the win condition, it changes things. It's harder. It's a scary thought that we've not realised that we've come to this knife edge situation where either of us can win.
Realised before I declared my movement, I would have won. Then instead, it seems pretty locked in. You are, but we've got the rest of this upstage, and then at least one more next turn to.
Yeah, just after the halfway point. Turn 4, upstage 1 is likely going to be the point where we know who's winning the scenario, because if I don't win in this instance, I think my resources are stretched to a point where you could turn this on its head.
Well, you've got one convoy left, and then who are sort of on map B, focus on your airfields, right?
Yes.
And then it's the guys coming in with the black shirts.
Yes.
So that, 60 is a lot. That's bigger than any of my...
It is. The thing is, though, realistically, I'll have to commit a lot of that to... If I want to make sure I can keep a longevity play, I'm going to have to commit a lot of those to actual functional supply lines that are going to run around the rest of the map.
Because we are going to keep going, even if one of us gets the victory.
Yes, that's an important point. So when this upstage pans out and the next, if it is the case that we reach a victory condition, for our sake, to continue to understand the game with a bit of safety and have the stabilizers on, have the barriers up, we're going to play out the rest of the scenario, as in finish the 6 turns. Yeah. We're going to see how that goes, see if there's any other big developments in gameplay, see if we can figure out any new tactics or rules that we've missed the purpose of or just completely forgotten about. So it means that this is not the end of this scenario play if there's a victory. It does mean I win the Kinder Bueno. It means that it really just, I guess, becomes a waiting game of how the scenario pans out in the rest of the turns and what kind of action happens. Yeah. And from there, we've got to win. We've reached an end point for Graziani's offensive.
Yeah. Because if you redo your supply lines from what you're saying, you get the win. Probably costs you the overall scenario because we are keeping it going.
Yeah, I think in the long run, I'm in such a damaged position that recovering it over the 3 turns is going to be difficult. A lot of the wild gambits that I've mentioned in the last few weeks have proven to be difficult to pull off or against the rules. So I'm not entirely sure any of the risky players can go. I'm going to have to win conventionally, and that requires supply lines, which I can recoup now that these extra trucks are here. But it feels too little too late.
Yeah.
So I've got to hope I can get this tactical win condition. And then it means, that's it. I've at least got the victory under my belt. And then you can beat the shit out of me. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I can be defeated as the winner.
The big one comes down to if the 7th and the 4th can dislodge those 2 divisions.
Well, that's it. It's not over yet. There is still an 11th hour move you can make to change this scenario.
And those guys are very, very well supplied.
Well, that's it. My guys are going to have to sort of cycle through, which I've mentioned in the past. They're not the best equipped in terms of resource. They don't have huge stockpiles of ammo. No. They don't have a lot of stores, which could be detrimental come the start of turn 4. But they can defend themselves. And that's sort of the situation here. They just need to hold the line. They don't need to push you further back. They just need to stay exactly where they are, which is what I'm hoping is going to happen. If they start a retreat, I'm in danger. But all in all, I'm feeling very confident that I may well win the scenario, Andy.
Yeah. I'm just hoping, because the way your guys are positioned, I can hopefully do 2 divisions on 1 for each of them.
For this first one, you will be.
And
I can't remember who's
the
at the
second one I
front.
can as well.
Can you?
I think so.
I'll look at the map. I got some pictures. I'll put some pictures up for the Instagram post this week, which shows what that wall looks like at the moment. It's dicey. I'm building a minefield nearby, though. That'll be fun.
That's fun, yeah.
Just in case. I should have built one right outside City Barani.
That would have been a game winner.
Yeah, that would actually have changed the game, and in the sense that it ends it.
Oh, I guess there's another way it doesn't end immediately.
Which is?
Depending on the weather.
No, it'll still be fine.
Will it not? If we get rain or sandstorm, it affects movement.
It affects movement, but I just need to be able to trace the supply. I don't think it needs to factor in.
Oh yeah, it's
the weather.
Just 30 movement. Is it 30 movement points? Is how it phrases it.
It just says a tracker supply line from Tobruk, and every mention of it talks about doing it in an op stage.
Yeah.
So as long as I can trace that supply line, I just need to get my trucks detached.
Yeah.
And then from there, I'm sitting pretty. So this could be it. This is the end of the beginning. Because this does not mean anything in the grand scheme of things. This, while I may get a Kinder Bueno and a bit of a sugar rush that comes with it, I'm unfortunately still going to be playing the campaign for North Africa for probably the rest of my life. I think the grim reality we need to accept, Andy, is this realistically ends when one of us dies.
Maybe. It's only a decade.
I don't think it's a decade.
Yeah, it is.
I think that's very optimistic.
We'll bang it out in a couple of years.
It's going to be a big one next time. Next week's episode is going to be possibly us declaring a victor.
And potentially we're having a long game session. See how some
I think,
stuff works out, but we might have
the way our schedule has fallen quite conveniently, it means that this play session is going to be a biggie by the looks of it.
Yeah, we might get a weekend day for this.
Oh, and if we do, we'll spoil ourselves. We'll probably do a whole op stage. We could cycle all the way back around to the next op stage, which could then lead to the victory condition being met one way or another.
Yeah.
I think you and I are both going to go and rest in bed tonight. Separate beds, of course. And we're going to... You raised your eyebrow there. You want me to bunk in with you tonight?
Changed my plans.
Is this your idea of a common ground?
Yeah.
We have to top and tail, stay together, stay close. Actually, I might do that. I might stay at yours tonight, so then I know you can't fiddle with the board.
There's going to be... You can't stay here for like 5 days.
Yeah, I can.
No.
Of course I can.
Get out.
You're not actually in charge of me.
I actually am in my house.
No, that's not how that works.
Yeah, it is.
No,
my house, my rules.
It would be polite if I let you be in charge in your house.
No, it would be polite if I let the guests choose. That's the polite thing.
Whoa.
Threatening to spill water on a table or what?
It's cold coffee.
Oh, okay.
It's cold Nescafe salted caramel instant coffee. It's really nice. It's so nice I didn't drink it all. It's quite late on for a weekday, and I don't want to be completely caffeinated up to the eyeballs when I go to bed.
It's good thinking.
Yeah, I'm conscious of, I need sleep.
Caffeinated.
Yeah, I've got stuff to do early in the morning. I need to sleep. Need to get that rest in. You're not meant to have caffeine. I mentioned this really early on, didn't I? I remember mentioning this in one of the formative episodes of the podcast, Andy, that you're not meant to have caffeine for at least 10 hours before bedtime.
Which feels too long.
No, well, by what metric?
Like, I'd like that to be like 6 hours.
Right, so this is just about when you like to have coffee.
Yeah, I like coffee. I just also like sleep.
So it's not about the science being wrong, or you think there might be some miscalculation. You just don't like it.
Oh, no, I just prefer if caffeine had a shorter half-life.
Oh, okay, that's a very self-aware fact you've just dropped there. You've just shared an opinion, I suppose.
Yeah.
I can't fault you for that. I guess it is your house. I'll be polite as the guest and allow you to have an opinion.
Thank you very much.
So I guess in a way, every time we record this, I'm your guest.
I guess.
Yeah. You should start introducing me as a special guest.
I guess you can be relegated from co-host to special guest.
Yeah, I'd take that. Special guest feels, well, special. Co-host, that sounds pretty bland, to be honest. Introducing special guest James and Andy.
No.
Yeah, that actually rolls off the tongue.
Special guest is worse than host.
Well, we'll common ground that at some point. I think you're wrong.
Okay.
But that's the game covered. And this always goes the same way. We've got a structure to this thing. This isn't the Wild West. That's not where you live, Andy. There's no sand here. We're quite far from sand. The coast is miles away. So here we do things by the book. We do things. We follow the rules. We do, I swear. We follow the rules, and that means, what does it mean, Andy?
It's time for emails. Is that what it means?
You got it in one.
It seemed like the right answer, but I never know.
Well, you've not said something that sounds like we follow rules there, Andy. Come on, get with the program. Emails, and all of the joy that they bring. So we've got some developments here that are email adjacent.
Yeah, it was a lot of joy this week.
Yeah, we've had quite a lot of emails come through, which we're always very grateful for. Thank you, everyone who sent them. And we've we've got some big things coming this year. We've got some big stuff coming up. We've touched on some of it in previous episodes. We've got more that we'll talk about in future ones. And one such thing, as you will be able to see today, is that we have, at long last, a new logo. Look at that. Brand new logo for a brand new year, and maybe even for a brand new victor in the form of me, James, winner of the scenario to be declared. Now, this logo, you may notice, is a little bit better put together than our previous one. It doesn't have an erroneous board game in the background. It's a little bit more than the two silhouettes, and not to rag on Andy, your creativity, because you put that thing together, and it had the charm of our early days.
It did its job for the time it was doing it.
It did. It was spectacular, and it will always have a special place in my heart. It actually pained me to see it go, because that is a logo that I've seen oh so many times when we've been editing and putting stuff out. It really reflected us. But who are we to deny the opportunity to use a new one when one of our fantastic listeners, you're out there, Alex, that's right, we're calling you out. You, Alex, have sent over that logo and provided it to us, and we are beyond grateful, because it really does fit the bill for ushering in a new year of War with a Mate.
Yeah, and awesome logo as well.
Oh yeah, brilliant.
A definite step up, and then also it's just very kind to
take the time
on it.
Yeah, massively appreciative of it. And we've got the email that you send over to us, which has a bit more to it. And it goes, "Hi Andy and James. Here is Alex, your first emailer. Long time no see." That's right, people. It was the first email that we ever read out. First email we received was from Alex, and he's went full circle. He's come back in the new year, and he's provided us with a new logo as well. What a guy. He goes on, "I started listening to you last year, and I couldn't catch up, so I left the podcast at about episode 20, but I still got it in my mind. During the Christmas week of this year, I listened episodes going from 22 to 56. I was spending Christmas alone, so I didn't bother anyone listening to this all day long. I think I'm literally addicted to this podcast. It will probably be really hard to wait each week for a new episode to come out now. I know the feeling. I just want to binge playing the game and get it over and done with in a time bubble, no less." That's right, Andy, I'm going back on my word. "One of the last episodes, you guys are talking about how you feel about the game, and James tells he is really confident he could take Alexandria in a couple of turns at the start of the new game. This probably includes a daring plan where he launches a great offensive, which will probably be stopped by Andy, who will himself see a vulnerable and overstretched Italian army and start an offensive to gain terrain. And, well, this is the campaign for North Africa. The game managed to get James into thinking he could win easily with some decisive actions, just like all commanders during the North African campaign. Maybe you guys will be more resentful to attack during the full game, but I'm sure there are times when you will put all your forces hoping it will work, only for it to fail. Due to trucks, probably. Fuck the trucks." I like that. That's a good callback. And you know what? If Andy had followed that mantra, I would be done.
I mean, I kind of have.
No. I think that the fact I've only got one truck convoy is down to mismanagement. It's not due to enemy effectiveness.
Okay.
Maybe you had like a 5% impact.
I've stolen like 10 convoys off you.
By chance.
Lucky roll of the dice.
Happenstance. In another episode, you guys mentioned eventually changing the logo, maybe with the right map in the background. Oh, that's a dig. I've made a couple of sketches for a banner and a profile picture. It's not much, but feel free to use it as you wish. Maybe it will give you some ideas, or you can use it as your new profile pic or whatever. It's yours.
Well, right, using it as a new profile pic.
Yes, we had some back and forth with Alex. We were lucky enough to have a lovely conversation about it and express our gratitude, and he was very generous in having this provided to us and letting us use it. And it feels all that more special that it was one of you guys that provided us with this and just took the time to put it together. And you also mentioned here, Alex, that the banner that you put together is a picture of us getting tired over the bookkeeping, and the profile pic is us standing in a Crusader Mark I tank, a British tank used during the war. Which also, and I'm not sure if this was your intention, it actually looks a little bit like the cover of the game.
Yeah, there's a nice... that's lined up nicely.
Yeah, I don't know if that was an homage, Alex, but if you look at the cover for the campaign for North Africa on the box, it's admittedly it's Rommel, but it's him sort of poised atop a vehicle as well. It does strike a bit of a resemblance.
It's a really nice sweet spot, because an homage to the cover without implying one of us is Irwin Rommel.
Yeah, it's left open to interpretation. Yeah. So thanks for
We're
that.
on a British tank.
Yeah, thanks for saving us some controversy. On a more serious note, you guys are incredible. I had a pretty tough past year and surprisingly started feeling depressed just as I stopped listening to you guys in the end of 2024. You're funny guys. I love the history segments and the common grounds are always solid gold. Keep it up, really. And thanks again for helping me get by playing this game. I guess one suffers, ends another's. You really made my Christmas and each Friday from now on. In the deserts of your minds, Alex, probably from Chicago. Well, Alex, I hope you're doing better. Christmas is it's a tough time at the best of times, and if you've been spending that listening to us, then we appreciate that we played at least a small part in getting through that. And it's a lovely thought that we get to brighten someone's day in any aspect. The fact that someone has decided to tune into us and it brightens your day in any way is a miraculous outcome from such a silly endeavor. Yeah. So we were very,
thank you
very
for
glad.
brightening our day because we were very excited when the logos came in.
Yeah, I don't think you understand how giddy we were to see that. It was so brilliantly timed with us starting a new year and you getting back into it as well by the sounds of it if you've had a hiatus. And it's the case I've also had, times when I've been down, I'll stick on a podcast and I'll go down the rabbit hole of binging different podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
My big one... not long before we started this, I listened to The Worst Idea of All Time.
One of the best.
Which is great. If anyone hasn't listened to that, it's brilliant. It's two guys who rewatch Grown Ups 2 every week for a year and review it every week. I think maybe part of that inspired the idea to do something else stupid, which I guess is playing this.
It's I think we've had an email mention of the niche of like unwanted endurance podcasting.
Yeah, it is a niche that we're in, and I'm happy to add my name to that list. But anyone who gets any sort of joy from this is a lovely thing to hear. So I hope anyone out there who's having a bit of a rough time, hopefully this hour or so each week, you can remember that there's just two people doing something silly somewhere. There's a bit of whimsy going on in the world, and hopefully you can de-stress and remember that if we're doing this, the world isn't all that serious. It's all a big joke, really, isn't it?
Are we really countering the seriousness of the world?
Yeah, I mean, I can't think of anything that's happened that's serious in the last few weeks that anyone should be concerned about. I'm sure that we've balanced that all out.
Which brings me to the subject line of our next email.
Oh, this was a corker. Moving from something touching and moving to, I guess this is also quite touching. Would you like to read the subject of this next email?
Wife threatening to divorce me over my love of your podcast.
That one worried me when I read that. I was worried it was going to be an appeal to us to somehow talk around someone's spouse.
Yeah.
And figure, or just to get us to stop recording permanently. Otherwise, we'd be breaking up a marriage. But Andy, why don't you delve into this?
Dear future Andy and James, I write this after having just finished episode 24, Graziani's Defensive. And you note the emails are slowing down, so I thought I'd get one in now with the hopes of hearing it read once I catch up. I've been listening to your podcast for the past month, and I'm really enjoying the format and your banter. The history details are fascinating here, and as a fellow war game and board game enthusiast, I thoroughly enjoy the gaming commentary. I've been telling all my friends and family about it at holiday parties, so much so that my wife says that if I bring up pasta points one more time at the dinner table, she will divorce me. Thanks for the guerrilla marketing, but I'd take the warning.
Yeah, there's a fine line between doing something lovely for us and doing something catastrophic to your marriage.
But if anyone's listening from those dinner tables, let us know.
Yeah, that means that we've this has worked. If you're listening to this on the back of that recommendation, you need to talk to your sister or your daughter or whoever she is to you. You need to let her know that it's important. This is an important piece of art. It's avant-garde. It's groundbreaking. It's historical, and the pasta points are sort of an educational point around cuisine. So the dinner table is actually probably the best place to talk about it.
Where else would you talk about pasta?
Yeah, exactly. So, all in all, I mean, I hate to weigh in on one side or the other of this domestic
I hate to take
argument.
sides, but only one of them was a listener, so I'm backing him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm weighing up these these arguments in my head, and one of them's really coming down on my end.
So, fun fact, my son was born around the time you officially started playing, episode 13. And so is as old as your game has been played. Therefore, when you finish the game, I'll personally send you a picture of him wearing a t-shirt that says, "I survived the campaign for North Africa podcast with Andy and James by saying subtle, humble and brave." Keep up the good work, chaps. Looking forward to catching up. Although I'll be sad I'll no longer be able to binge the episodes. Your subtle, humble and brave fan, Nav. Thanks for that email, Nav. That's another great one.
That is a corker. And this is the second occasion, I believe, where someone has said that they've recently had a child and they're going to be indoctrinating them into the area of the podcast from essentially birth. Someone's emailed in and said they're going to use the podcast to soothe their child to sleep. Now, I'm worried about what the next generation is going to look like if they're all being raised under the umbrella of this podcast as background supplementary material.
Well, it's good. It's long-form content. By the time they grow up, it'll be like 1 second videos.
And I'm just trying to put together the dynamic of this family in my head at the moment, Nav. That you have a newborn child and you're at the dinner table talking about pasta points, and I can just picture a very tired wife who's been looking after the child all day, and then you sit down after having listened to 3 or 4 episodes and just rattle off facts about the game, and it's just sheer frustration on her part. It's a very funny dynamic that we're involved in.
It's also something I've definitely done where I'm excited about something and then I realise sort of half an hour into it giddily explaining it to someone that they couldn't give a shit.
Andy, I get that now talking about this podcast that we do. I get down the rabbit hole too often of talking on and on about this. And at first, people are like, "Oh, podcast, that's interesting." And I'm like, "Yeah, so let me tell you about how complicated the game is." Oh, and then there's this wacky part of the game. You know how many spreadsheets we've got? And after a while, I think the novelty wears off, and they're like, "I get it, it's a long game." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's really long. No one's ever finished this game before." And yeah, it must be so grating. But the thing is, Nav, that makes you one of us.
Yeah.
You're annoying just like us. And that's fine. It's fine to have a passion. It's good. So, I think what I really hope is that this is tongue-in-cheek. What I don't want to have is a follow-up email in a few months' time where Nav is telling us about the new apartment he's moved into on his own.
It wasn't a light email.
So, I hope all is well on the home front, Nav. And hopefully you can talk the whole family round and you'll all sit down on an evening, stick on an episode, and it'll all be a jolly good time.
Yeah.
If not, you can move in with Andy.
It's getting crowded. We've got celebrity on my couch. You're staying for 5 days. And now fans are moving in.
Yeah, but the celebrity on the couch
as we've said, my home kind of isn't big enough for the game.
The celebrity will be out soon, though. I hear he's got big stuff coming.
Yeah, we'll replace him with another one.
Yeah, it's just a revolving door. Actually, that gives you connotations which probably aren't great. Let's quickly diverge away from this dangerous topic of dangerous. I went a bit Sean Connery there. Let's move away from this dangerous topic of you being some sort of serial one-night stander with celebrity guests, which, we've only got one celebrity, so if anything, it would be a very committed monogamous relationship on your sofa. Andy, why don't you...
my NDAs.
why don't you do us a history segment, Andy? I would love a history segment.
Okay, I'm going to hit you with it.
Actually, if you want to get an email to us, you can do that at info@warwithamate.co.uk.
Good man.
The Instagram is just War with a Mate. And our website, we've got that too. It's warwithamate.co.uk. It's full of, old pictures of the game. We'll update it, though. We promise. We've got lots of coming this year. Lots of things. All sorts of bits and pieces. The website will be part of it. I promise. I swear to God, we'll update it. We will get round to it. We're busy. Calm down. We're busy, all right?
No one's attacking you.
I can hear them, Andy. I can hear them. We will update it. We will, maybe. No, we will. We will.
And that's at War With Me on Instagram.
It is. We can take messages on any of those forms, and you can send it. It could be about anything. It can be about how comforting it is to listen to our podcast when you're feeling a bit down and solemn. It can be about the dissolution of your marriage because you're listening to it. It could be
Your opinion on Kettlegate.
It could, well, not that. Not that. I did see a few emails come in about that, by the way, people. I have noticed that. And I've seen the YouTube comments. I've seen it, all right? I explicitly told you not to do that, and I've seen it. So when I said you can do anything, maybe I should start putting some caveats on that. I'll give you one chance, people, all right? One chance. Stop talking about these kettles. Anyway, before I get ahead of myself and start telling everyone off for this kettle talk, which you started, Andy, why don't we delve into history?
The men of the long-range desert patrols were quite a sight on their return to Cairo from a month's trip to Libya. The contrast between the east and west of the Nile is very marked. In the east, the country... At this point, I gave little thought to my future, but had always been interested in boats in the sea. I am more or less in the position of a captain in command of a ship, which is on the point of sinking because errors are present.
We are absolutely not qualified to share views on history. So, where does history take us today?
Back to the 7th and the end of their glorious march.
Oh, is this the end?
It is.
I
finally ended this.
They've concluded at long last.
Fun quote for us to start with as always. We are not interested in holding on to anything except the enemy's balls. We are going to twist his balls and kick the living shit out of him all the time. George S. Patton, known for his aggressive stance during the push into Germany.
That is quite a quote for the send-off series.
So the 7th, where we left them, they were enjoying Christmas in Holland. But they're back to work on the 13th of January 1945 with Operation Black Rock. Their first action is to cross a bunch of canals, which means it's infantry in the front for now, rather than the tanks. They go canal to canal, village to village, accompanied by their flail tanks, artillery, and the crocodile tanks, which are the flamethrower ones.
Oh god, yeah, that's scary.
Yeah. At one point, they fight 3 companies of German paratroopers at St. Just, who make them fight house to house, only ever giving ground when the burning buildings they're fighting in, lit up by the crocodile tanks, are too hot for them. The fires contrast sharply with deep snow and persistent fog, mixed with smoke, which when it gets cold, makes fog thicker, so burning, and then it's cold, and it's just less and less visibility.
Oh yeah, that's not a nice situation to be in at all. I hate that.
Yeah. But by the end of January, they've pushed the Germans from the west bank of the River Ruhr in Germany, and after brutal fighting, Operation Black Rock's deemed a success. They pull back for some more training to cross the Rhine and spend some time off the front, but they're back towards the end of March for Operation Plunder, which is to fight 190 miles through Germany to capture Hamburg. After some initial fighting around the town of Wessel, they cross the River Rhine on the 27th of March, led, as always, by the 11th Hussars.
Naturally.
Who are allowed to range forward. In Europe, as I said, it's mostly been vehicles leading, infantry leading, supported by vehicles. But now the 11th get to push forward first. They're passing through destroyed towns and villages. There's signs of combat everywhere. Rubble, the stench of bodies no one's had time to bury. Broken gliders and tanks everywhere. It's just a horrific landscape they're going through.
Yeah, this sounds very much... Well, yeah, it's the end of the war. Yeah, and it shows.
Yeah, the 7th Armoured Division splits into 3 groups at this point to secure various towns and create a new front. They're moving through tracks and thick woodlands, which is when the Panzerfaust or Tank Fist becomes a major problem. These are the German World War II RPGs. They've got a conical top. I don't know if you'd recognize.
Yes, I know the ones you mean.
Yeah.
Yes.
So throughout the rest of March, they have a series of advances, many through the night, and battle fierce German resistance the entire time. They take a series of towns and cross minor rivers using Bailey bridges.
Oh, callback.
They've advanced 120 miles into Germany at this point when they reach the Teutoburger Wald, which is a 25-mile-long, mile-wide escarpment covered in dense woodland with a canal running through it.
Oh, dear.
The canal, of course, the bridges have all been blown up.
Well, yes, you would do that.
And waiting for them in those woods are the Hitler Youth and their elite instructors. They've been at war for years at this point, the 7th. They've survived battle after battle, marched through the ruins of Europe, and now they're fighting fanatically brainwashed children, many as young as 12.
Oh, God. This is... Imagine getting through all of this warfare, and they really have saved the worst to last.
Yeah, they're throwing the...
You're fighting children in Nazi Germany.
Who would rather die than surrender.
Yeah,
so you're not even getting, like... You're having to kill these kids.
That's the bleakest way for this conclusion to come about. That's horrible.
Yeah. So the non-children Germans are elite soldiers and instructors for the Hitler Youth, who are normally taken from like experienced veterans. So they've got like an elite force backed by these kids. And they're working in small teams, staying mobile to reduce the effectiveness of artillery, hunting commanders, tank commanders and officers and sniping them. So after several days of brutal fighting, the 7th and 11th Armoured Division, who've joined up for this, are ordered to disengage and go round this pocket of resistance in the evening of the 4th of April. 2 other divisions stayed behind, and it takes them 2 more days to dislodge this, like, resistance.
I wonder how much of that was hesitancy because of who they're fighting. I wonder if the fact that they're mostly kids played a part in maybe holding back, or...
Also, it's horrific terrain to be fighting. Like, heavy woodlands, they've got a height advantage, and then when you get into the woods, there's a canal to cross.
Yeah,
and they are elite, so it's just a nightmare.
It very much is the last boss fight here. There's such a, not just physical, but moral obstacle that you're running into here. And these elite soldiers, the instructors that are there with them, I mean, can't really think of anything more evil to do in warfare. You're there with your child soldiers.
Your battalion of child soldiers.
While you're then sniping and picking off others.
Yeah.
Like, it boggles the mind.
This is just such a horrible thing to run into. Like, war's obviously horrible. Like, they're going through all these ruins. Germany's been heavily bombed, but like...
You're now in the heart of darkness.
Fighting children, it's just... But yeah, so... Leaving that behind them, over the next few days, they have a mixture of rapid advances that are then stopped by blown bridges or heavily defended bridges that are then blown up when they're going to lose them. So at this point, they need to review their tactics because every river crossing is just a nightmare. So instead of heading directly west, they start heading directly west, hoping to cut off and isolate a German army. They make good progress, and there's another brief and brutal battle with an SS training division. So... On the 10th of April, they capture a large hospital nestled in some pine woods near the town of Wiederschossen with 200 patients. During the night, the hospital was attacked by German infantry and artillery. In the morning, all the patients and the staff had vanished, and they didn't know where they went.
Oh, I was expecting the next words out you must be "were dead," but just gone.
Just gone.
Is there any information after the fact that clears up this mystery?
I'm going to look into it a bit more. This was mentioned in like a thing about the 7th, but it is like partly just the hospital was just empty of patients and staff in the morning.
That's really bizarre.
Yeah, it was just a weird little part of that. So the day after this weird, spooky hospital occurrence, on the 11th, part of the division takes Wiederschossen, which they're next to, which they're very happy about because it contains a massive supply of gin.
Oh, nice.
Nice little morale boost. Soon after, the 11th Hussars report seeing 17 German tanks in the woods that had previously been shot at by planes. The German tanks managed to sneak up on the Brits, destroying several parked tanks before being knocked out themselves. This was followed by an infantry infiltration that was repelled by British artillery. A theory at the time was the Germans were attacking to rescue their gin.
Hey, you got to motivate the boys.
So, due to basically every bridge in Germany being destroyed, they couldn't get into the path of the army they were chasing without a costly battle against several other divisions. But they do get a huge morale boost, even bigger than the Jin, when the division find and liberates a POW camp, Stalag X1B, the first camp to be liberated in Germany of the war. It has 12,000 prisoners spread across 2 camps, about half of them are British and American, including men captured at Villers-Bocage in Normandy, and also members of the 8th and 11th Hussars that had been captured in Sidi Rezegah all the way back in 1941.
Oh, wow.
That was the battle where, the guy was grabbing the side of the tank. It
Oh,
was the
yes.
first, tank battle between Rommel and...
Yeah, and he was
they
like
got
riding
captured.
along
They got captured there and then get liberated.
by their guys.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, they're fighting through the suburbs of Hamburg at this point, facing fierce resistance. At this point, they're fighting everyone: soldiers, policemen, firemen, SS, schoolboys. It's just, if you can hold a weapon, the Germans are sending you. So at 2:30 a.m. on the 26th of April, the Germans counterattack, leading to a protracted day-long battle, finally withdrawing on the 27th. As well as dealing with the city, there's just thousands of German soldiers spread around the woodlands around Hamburg as well that they're having to deal with. It's just a nightmare.
Just everywhere you go, there's someone wanting to kill you.
Yeah. They shell the city through the 28th of April, and on the 29th, a group comes out of the city to discuss surrender.
Were they looking for an officer to surrender to?
No, this guy was a bit more reasonable. Although the new negotiations do take some time, and on the 21st of May, General Waltz, the German general, after aides and stuff have been going back and forth, he comes out to talk and about surrendering the city. He specifically wants to surrender it to the Desert Rats.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so they've got a reputation with the Germans as well. So
I, again, wouldn't trust that.
No.
That sounds very suspicious. Like, we'll surrender, but just to this highly renowned unit. It's like, why do you want us to be here?
Yeah.
Why do you want us to have this settlement?
But, yeah, they're discussing terms, and then that evening, news of Hitler's death is announced over the radio.
Oh,
Yes.
big news.
Big news. The next day, the city surrendered. The division entered the city in triumph, led by the 11th Hussars. The triumph is short-lived. Allied soldiers have described the city as a city of rats and flies due to the stench. Buildings are in total ruin. 60% of the city's homes have been destroyed. Almost 200 large factories and 500 and almost 4,000 small ones were destroyed. There's writing on every surface that's still standing, because people are writing civilians and stuff are writing messages like, "Gone here because of the house bombed. If you find it, Dave, come find me." They're just leaving writing everywhere, trying to communicate with each other.
Oh, that would be such a terrifying thing to see.
Yeah.
There's just something about that I find really unsettling.
It's another layer on top of just the ruin.
Yeah, it's it makes it feel like it's been left there longer. It removes it from not just being a ruin of something. It's now been changed again. It's taken another form.
Yeah. And they're just writing these hoping a loved one or a family member will reunite. It's estimated that 37,000 people died from bombing even before the Allies arrived in Hamburg. Although this number's difficult to confirm, and this is fucking horrible, due to some counts only being possible to guess how many people were in a room when it was bombed by estimating based on the amount of ash in the room.
Oh, God.
Yeah. RAF, the Air Marshal Arthur Harris quoted the Bible in 1942, stating that the Nazis sowed the wind and are now going to reap the whirlwind. About the bombing campaigns.
That's a scary threat.
Yeah. Whereas Neville Chamberlain says we have no quarrel with the German people except that they allowed themselves to be governed by a Nazi government. As long as that government exists, there will be no peace in Europe. So there's varying attitudes from fuck these guys to a bit of sympathy for the people.
Yeah.
But you got to get rid of the Nazis.
Well, that's it. It's a case of we can't stop the fighting until the structure that put it together is removed.
Yeah. So on the night of the 4th of May, the German surrender overall is announced. When VE Day was to be declared on the 8th of May 1945, the division found itself concentrated around the town of Gockels, north of Hamburg, with some units still in or closer to the city or in the Kiel area. A lot of the units wanted to leave the city, partially due to the jet devastation, and partially this city absolutely stinks of like bodies rotting under rubble.
Oh my god!
That they've not been able to clean up. I know it's the Germans, but it's horrific.
It doesn't really change the fact that this is a horrible scene.
Yeah. So they're glad to be out of the city, but the war was over and the 7th Armoured Division had one more march. For the next 2 months, they're based in Hamburg, dealing with German prisoners, including huge numbers of Germans fleeing west, looking to be captured by anyone but the Russians.
Which is fair. You don't want to be taken into their custody.
So in July, they head to Berlin to take a prominent role in the victory parade through the city, personally inspected by Winston Churchill, and then drive past him, very prominently placed in the parade. And then later that day, Churchill goes on to address them at the impromptu Churchill Club they've set in Berlin, making a speech I've pulled multiple quotes from, but I'll give you it again in full.
Yes.
Soldiers of the 7th Armoured Division, I am delighted to be able to open this club, and I shall always consider it a great honour that it should be named after me. I have not for the first time had the pleasure of seeing your troops march past, and this brings back to mind the great and many moving incidents in these last long and fierce years. Now here in Berlin, I find you all embellished in this great centre, from which, as from a volcano, fire and smoke and poison fumes have erupted all over Europe twice in a generation, and in bygone times also German fury has been let loose on her neighbours, and now it is we who live in our place in the occupation of the country. Dear desert rats, may your glory ever shine, may your laurels never fade, may the memory of this glorious pilgrimage of war, which you have made from Alamein via the Baltic to Berlin, never die. It is a march unsurpassed through all the story of war, so my readings of history leads me to believe. May the fathers long tell their children about this tale. May you all feel that in following your great ancestors you have accomplished something which has done good to the whole world, which has raised the honour of your country, and which has given every man the right to feel pride. And yeah, that's the story of the 7th Armoured Division.
Wow. The Desert Rats.
Yeah.
From desert to destitute Germany.
Yeah. Hell of a journey.
That is a push. That is a hell of a push from where they began in these history segments to where they ended. The scope of combat that they've taken on, the environments that they've traversed, and the adversarial nature of what they went up against, between the environment itself in Africa to the fanaticism in Germany. There's no real pause on the intense terror that there must be going on, but pushing through it all.
Oh, yeah.
Massive victories and an understandable reputation at the end of it all.
Yeah.
That's just mind-bogglingly scary stuff to go through, and to make it pretty much the whole way. I know a lot of them changed up towards the end, with some of them going back home, but for them to fight for that long and through so many environments is just insane. I wouldn't make it through one.
No.
I wouldn't last a day in any of those.
If they'd just done Operation Compass, it would be unbelievably impressive.
To do all of it.
That's a month of their 5 years.
Yeah, because I know that was a fairly condensed month in terms of the amount of stuff that happened in it. It was very, very busy, but it is just a month.
It's also not that busy compared to them going through France and Germany. I focused in on Operation Compass because it was part of the campaign for North Africa, but that level of everyday intense fighting
just
was
constant.
D-Day, Italy, all the way to Hamburg and then Berlin.
And with them being, from what you've described in a lot of Europe, the sort of tip of the spear for a lot of these operations, it means that they are showing up early doors to some of the atrocities and having to take on some of the worst stuff first.
Well, they liberated the first POW camp. It wasn't a death camp, it was a
Actual prisoner of
POW
war.
camp, but they were... I mean, yeah, they got there first.
Yeah, so not only are they travelling all this way, but they're...
regularly ahead of the main army. Like,
Yeah, they're first foot in the door.
yeah.
And again, for them to make it through as the first foot through the door is just insane.
Yeah.
A scary group of people. Again, another one that I didn't really have any information about before we started any of this. And then when we started playing the game, I looked into them a bit, read some of the book that you did. But I had no idea the full extent of what they've done. And your use of them in the game, I'm always now going to look at them and be like, these guys can really switch up how this fight's going to go.
Oh, yeah.
Which, again, I think it does feel like that's what you're doing with these history segments. You're trying to put the
Psych
fear
you
of God
out.
in me when it
I'm
comes
trying to get ideas.
And have you got any?
Yeah. They've not worked, but I had them.
Well, yeah, it sounds like you're going to lose next time. Haven't used those seventh very well, have you, Sunshine?
Could have been better.
We both could have been better. I could have used my trucks. The Italians used their trucks, at least, from what I understand. You need to do a history segment on the Italian trucks, Andy.
I'll get to them.
I've no doubt that you will. We've got forever
Yeah.
in this time bubble. Oh, yeah, scary stories, but... yeah, I'm trying to picture what that must be like in the canal area where they're up against the Hitler Youth. There's something so grim about that, and the writing everywhere in the ruins. It's just, it's like a post-apocalyptic.
You think of them as just ruins, but it's like, no, people are leaving their mark on it, and like their hopes and desire, like find the people, like.
Yeah, there's just that added like human aspect of it. It's a place where it was destroyed and then people have been there still.
Yeah.
It's not like an old ruin from, ancient Rome that you pass through now in parts of England where, there's Roman ruins and it's not that. It's so contemporary.
Yeah.
I just don't like that. There's something unsettling about that in a very strange way. Well, Andy, the game is not only afoot, it may be an end. We're looking at a scenario that's going to, quite possibly wrap up soon. We've just heard some terrible tales of history, and we're leaving our mark on it, and it will likely be with me as the victor. So, I would like to...
be a good common ground.
And now for something nicer. A little oasis in the war. It's time for some common ground. I'm trying the intro for common ground. I'm recording it. Maybe. Yeah. I'd like to bring us together with a common ground.
Okay, what you got?
So, mine is about the betterment of life.
Okay.
It's about making life that bit easier, that bit nicer. I think my common ground suggestion is that all houses should be built with a billy tap installed.
What's a billy tap?
So billy tap is it's in a lot of offices that I've worked in. So it's a tap that can dispense cold and boiling hot water, as well as sparkling water. So it means you get very easily accessible.
What are you doing?
You can get
What are you doing?
very easily accessible hot water, boiling hot water. You don't need to wait for it to boil. It's just there, readily available.
We can't be tagging each other in common ground. Okay, so you think... Are they the ones they have in, like, kitchens and restaurants where it, like, sprays...
Yeah, like you've just got hot water ready. Like you've got like the cold tap option or the hot tap, and the hot tap is just boiling water and it's readily available.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
I agree, I guess.
Yeah?
Seems like just having better taps than you have now.
Yeah, because my thought process behind that is with that, you don't need to wait for a kettle to boil. So it saves time.
It feels like you've really not... Common ground is not this.
Common ground is not what, Andy?
You get a single chance to rebut and then it's over.
No, see, What you're probably referring to is what I can see, maybe from an outside perspective, are similarities between my suggestion here for Common Ground and what you suggested last week, which was to have kettles in more rooms.
Which, yeah, of course.
Now, I was thinking about that. Bad idea. And I thought, what is a good idea? And I thought, there we go. We can instead have hot water taps in the kitchen, and it's just ready to go. You don't have to wait for the kettle to boil.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you checking there? You checking the cost of a billy tap?
I was having a look. Yeah.
Yeah. And what sort of price range are we looking at there?
They don't sell them commercially.
Well, we can change that. That would be part of it, because Common Ground's about thinking big, isn't it, Andy?
It is. Yeah.
It's about thinking beyond the mundane and having very big ideas.
Fucking hell. This is bad.
This is a good idea, Andy.
I didn't know this had pissed you off this much.
The kettle is no longer needed in the situation. You make it redundant.
It solves my problem.
It does. It solves your problem. What I'm doing here, Andy, is I'm presenting you with a solution. I've come to you with a peace offering. I critiqued your idea and did so with zest and vigor. And I've come here with you today to unite on an idea that will solve your solution, and I think do it in a better way.
So every house gets one of these taps?
Every house should have one of these taps. It's not mandated, but it's recommended. Because we're going to discontinue the sale of the kettle.
That's insane. That's not acceptable.
That's the only way to really get these billy taps off the ground. Because if we get all of the kettle manufacturers to be on board with the billy tap idea, then the billy tap manufacturing costs.
People who make taps will definitely want to get a kettle. Will definitely want to stop making kettles.
Well, they're not going to be able to make kettles anymore, Andy.
So you are mandating this?
I'm mandating the ban of kettles. Kettles are dangerous, all right?
Whereas a articulatable tap that you can sort of point anywhere in your kitchen that sprays boiling water is just completely safe.
You're thinking of a different kind of tap. Mine is stationary. It only pours it down. Okay. And as well as that, there'd be safeguards in place. Because, of course, immediately the risk is, well, what if a child were to get a hold of it? This tap will be up atop the mantelpiece, so it's too big to get to. You'll have it up on the kitchen countertop, so a child can't reach it. And as for adults, we'll put safety measures in place. Because we don't want, hot water to be catching anyone. So I'll design a mechanism.
So you're designing a new tap?
No, I'm going to alter the billy tap.
Okay.
It's still going to be branded.
The Billy.
The branding's
you're
important.
Definitely on board with the Billy Corporation.
Yeah, I mean the T-shirt I'm wearing has nothing to do with that. The Billy Tap T-shirt company. Yeah. I think it solves the problem that you had of you want accessible hot water. You want it fast
at my desk.
At your desk. So if you want, I can install a Billy Tap at your desk.
No, you can't.
Why?
Okay, a few reasons. You lack the skill set.
You can't say that with complete certainty.
I can.
You can be suspecting of it, but you've never seen me try to set up a Billy Tap.
You recently tried to set up... You recently tried to, attach something to a wall.
Yes.
Correct me when I go wrong.
Okay.
You didn't check for studs or anything behind the wall.
It's still accurate, yeah.
You drilled directly into the wall.
Yes.
And you're only alive because you hit a water pipe instead of an electricity pipe. But what you did do was flood your home.
Yeah. What flood the home is, the whole place wasn't flooded. But there was definitely water that got out of the pipe.
Yeah, so don't do handiwork on my house.
So this doesn't involve any drilling, first of all.
It simply must.
No, it's going to involve a lot
So you're just going to lay pipe and plumbing through my hall because you can't put it behind
I'm not laying pipe in your house, come on.
Then you can't set the tap.
I'm going to be using a new mechanism, and I've not designed it yet. You know what? I came here with a solution to your problem.
You know what
And all
sucks
I'm getting-
about this is, yeah, I sort of whiffed it last week. I'm willing to admit that. I was really hoping you'd not sink to my level.
Sink to your level. Is that a Billy Tap joke? Because we don't appreciate that at Billy Corp. we think it's quite reductive, actually. I'm not sinking to your level, Andy. I'm trying to lift you up. I see you dangling over the precipice, and I'm throwing my hand down. I'm saying, Andy, come up here. Don't go down there. That's where the silly people go. I'm trying to save your life here. I'm trying to save your soul.
Okay.
That's the only thing that lives inside the time bubble. That's what you told me.
I did say that. You're using my words against me.
That's all this is, Andy. It's rhetoric.
Okay.
And it's dangerous rhetoric, and it's prosaic, and it's part of what we do here. It needs to be collaborative.
So you just want better taps in houses?
I would love that. Would you not like a better tap?
That's fine, yeah.
Because the issue with your kettle idea is you need to go fill it up in the kitchen. You'd need to fill it with water.
Yeah, you just have a water bottle. That's fine. I'm not defending this.
So this way, you just walk into the kitchen, you've got boiling hot water ready to go. You just flick down on the tap, boiling hot water in your cup. There you go. Now you can walk back. You don't have to wait for the kettle to boil. And you get your steps in.
Okay.
This is a win on all fronts. It's a win for... You get your steps in. It's good for the Billy Corporation.
Which is a primary concern.
It gets rid of the danger of kettles where you got the cables everywhere, you know.
Okay.
You can have wires all over the place if you've got kettles in every room.
A single wire.
Yeah, exactly. One wire too much.
You're replumbing houses.
I am not... I accidentally replumbed a house.
Right.
I was trying to mount something, and I accidentally hit a... My common ground isn't did I drill well the other week. Because I would struggle to defend that, I admit. I pick my battles. Do you want the Billy Tap?
Do I want one?
Do you want the Billy Tap?
No.
That's not how common ground works, Andy. You gotta say yes.
We do have to find some agreement here. I think we leave this embarrassing water boiling saga behind us would be my common ground.
Are you proposing a truce?
I'm proposing a truce. I'm proposing we never mention kettles or the Billy Corporation ever again. That's the common ground I'm suggesting. This is over. It's done.
Well, I'll allow a bit of leeway on the kettle, like in terms of we can mention kettles going forward.
Okay.
But I do give in. I agree as part of the common ground to never mention the Billy Corporation again.
Well, that's all I want.
So our common ground is we can still talk about kettles, but I'll never mention the Billy Corp again.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad we got there in the end. Because it's going to be a tough game next week.
It's good when we agree.
I knew we had it in us, buddy. We're still friends.
Oh.
We'll always be friends. Well,
tune in next week to listen to us continue being friends.
well, you know how to get in touch with us. It's info@warwithamate.co.uk. It's the Instagram is just warwithamate, and there's a website, and it's warwithamate.co.uk.
Yeah.
And I'm James.
I'm Andy.
We're friends.
Stay soul, humble, and brave in the deserts of your mind. We're friends.
That's right, folks. See all your friends later.
Oh,
Night, night.
just the worst catchphrase.
It's not a bad catchphrase. I've heard of it.